Today we are going to introduce the topic Md5 collision. Our group members are Yuan Gao, Mimi Zhao, and Shi Jianyan. The topic has 6 parts. I will introduce the first 3 parts, and Yuan will introduce the 3 parts after, and Shi Jian will show how Md5 collision run by using rainbow sheet. What is MD5? MD5 message digest algorithm is a widely used cryptographic hash function that produces a 128-bit hash value to introduce a complete and consistent message transmission. MD5 can generate a special string from a string or file according to certain rules, and the corresponding MD5 digest of a file is fixed. When the file content changes, its MD5 value will be different. Therefore, in the application, often use MD5 value to verify that a piece of data has not been tampered with. As shown in the picture, the principle of MD5 algorithm can be briefly described as MD5 code process input information in 512-bit package, and each package is divided into 16 32-bit subpacks. After a series of processing, output of the algorithm consists of 4 32-bit packages. Cascading these 4 32-bit packages will generate a 128-bit hash value. And there are 3 main features of MD5. One is input arbitrary length of information. After processing, output 128 bits of information. The second is different results from different input. And the last is it is impossible to infer the input information based on the 128-bit output. It is irreversible. There are many applications of MD5. It can prefer tampering. For example, before sending an electronic document, I first get the output result of MD5A. Then after the other party receives the electronic document, the other party will also get an MD5 output B. If A and B are the same, they have not been tampered with. They can also prevent direct reading of plain text. Many sites now store the MD5 value of a user's password in their database. In this way, even if the criminals get the MD5 value of the database user password, they can not know the user's password, which is actually not safe, as I will mention later. Moreover, it can prevent denial digital signature. This requires a third-party certification authority. For example, A writes a file to which the certification authority generates summary information using the MD5 algorithm and records it. If A later says that the document was not written by him, authorities only need to reproduce the summary information of the document, and then compare it with the summary information recorded in the record. If it is the same, it will be proved to be written by A. This is called a digital signature.
In the second part, I will introduce the MD5 collision. We all know that MD5 is an efficient algorithm, but from the characteristic of MD5, it can be known that different inputs in the theory get different MD5, and MD5 collision is when 2 different inputs get the same MD5 value. In 2004, Wang Xiaoyun and his co-author demonstrated a collision attack against MD5. This causes MD5 to lose its security. In the last part, we will demonstrate 2 examples of the MD5 collision, and now we will discuss how to solve the collisions. First one is combine SHA1 and MD5 together. SHA1 also crashes, but much less often than MD5. Collision resolution can actually be achieved by combining MD5 with SHA1. Here is what I did. First, I wrote down the MD5 value of file A as B, and then I wrote down the SHA1 value of A as C. Then I added B and C, and then I calculated the MD5 value again. Until the new algorithm is widespread, MD5 can still be used. And the second method is add sort value. Additional information needs to be added to the MD5 digest results, which is called sorting. This value is randomly generated by the system and is known only to the system. So even if 2 users use the same password, their hash values are different because the system generates different sort value for them. even if a hacker can find a user with a particular password by looking at his own password, and the hash value he generated, the odds are against him. There are two examples of MD5 collision. First one is rainbow shit. We calculate the MD5 value for all the values that appears frequently and save them as a huge table. When we want to know the arranged content of an MD5 value, we can input the MD5 value into the table to reverse the original query. And the second method and example is chosen prefix collision attack. An extension of the collision attack is the chosen prefix collision attack, which is specific to hash functions. In this case, an attacker can choose two arbitrarily different documents and then append different calculated values that result in the whole document having an equal hash value. This attack is much more powerful than a classical collision attack. And I will demonstrate the chosen prefix collision attacks now. First, I will use the fast code tools to demonstrate it, and we went to the CMD. Copy the path to direct to the fast code tool, and we use the command to generate hhtxt file. And we finish the task. It automatically generate the HS message 1 and the HH message 2. We can check it in the desktop. Here is two files we produced. We can see that the content is different. And now I will check the MD5 value of these two files. We can see that MD5 value is totally same. And this is the chosen prefix collision attack.